Okay, here is a very interesting fun fact for you. Yesterday, somebody bought over 9 million XRP token, overall worth about $18 million. Now, why is this so important? Because this, I think we can all safely say, is a massive whale. And from my point of view, this means two things. Number one, in XRP, whales believe that our bull run is definitely not over yet. And if they would have believed that this is actually the beginning of a huge bear market, okay, why would they buy right around these areas? So to me, this means they still believe on another fantastic move on the upside. And point number two, they most likely believe that downsides in XRP are kind of limited. And again, pay attention. This doesn't mean that in XRP we can safely say this point is actually our final low, and from here we're going to get another phase of the bull run. We can do that, but someone buying over 9 million XRP token doesn't mean this is your final low. It just means that downsides are limited, and if we are going to have some more downward price action, they are probably not going to be that much of a big move down. So this was an interesting piece of news that I wanted to share with you. And by the way, I forgot to say this. Hi everyone, welcome back. I hope you're having a great time with your family and loved ones. Now, let's zoom on more and see what is happening. And I think we need to go on a 15-minute time frame. And I want to be very clear. In my own time, I usually do not go on such lower time frames. This is just for the sake of educational purposes. So I'm thinking it's fine. I want to do an Elliott wave count starting from this high and ending to about here. Let's zoom in more and start counting. So I believe we can argue this is wave 1, correction for wave 2, wave 3 and 4 and 5 to about here. And from this point to, yes, I think probably this high we are having an ABC or maybe a WXY, not really that important. And I think from this point, this is 1, correction for wave 2, decent move down into wave 3 to around here, followed by that probably I would say an ABC in form of a running flat into wave 4, and this is another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave down into our wave 5, and in here I believe we can easily consider an ABC with a triangle structure into our B leg, and this might be another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave down. Now, you probably know what I'm about to say. I believe this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave impulsive structure on the downside on a higher degree. And why is this so important? Because question, what happens after an impulse down? You know the answer. If we are looking optimistic, a very strong move up. On the other hand, if we are looking a bit pessimistic and maybe overall our move down is not over, a very slow and choppy move on the upside, generally some sort of a correction. Nonetheless, in both of these scenarios, we are going to have some sort of a move up, and that, my friends, is exactly why we are at the moment getting this price action in XRP. Now, can I tell you this move up is going to be an extremely bullish sign or maybe kind of a bearish sign? For now, I don't think I can tell you anything because I need to see some more price action developing here in order for me to have a better understanding of what is happening. But I can say maybe this is going to be like a 1, 2, 3 correction for 4, another move up into wave 5, and this move can actually continue a bit more. Now, here's a very important point. If you do not want to be involved in any kind of short-term price action, I think you need to actually wait probably for a couple of weeks and see what the shape of our move up in XRP in this phase is going to look like. Because I believe this is basically the moment of truth for XRP. And if we are very optimistic and the final low maybe is already in, okay, then we're going to see in here a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave up in order to get back to these highs. And if we in this process take this important high about $2.50, that will be actually a great sign indicating maybe in XRP we have hit our final bottom. On the other hand, if we see in this phase on the upside maybe an A, B, C or maybe a WXY, generally some sort of a correction, which is going to take more time than this impulsive structure on the downside. Okay, this suggests maybe in XRP, from these areas, we are going to have another move down. And in that move, we may take this low and who knows, maybe even this one down here about $1.9. I think we can also consider this possibility. Now, in the previous video about XRP, we talked about the possibility of having an A, B, C, D, E, a triangle structure to around the current area, maybe even a bit lower. And this is why I want to say right now is the moment of truth in XRP. Because if we are having a triangle, then okay, from these areas, you need to see a very strong impulsive structure on the upside, indicating that the bottom is in. If we see something like this happening in XRP, at that point, I promise you, we're going to be able to be bullish with a hell of a lot of more confidence. And for me, right now, it's just a bit of waiting game. And especially, I want to see, are we going to, in this phase, if we are actually going to get it, and this is happening, break this important resistance area between $2.5 to about $2.8. Why is that? We talked about this subject so many times, and if you are a regular viewer, you are probably bored of hearing it, but this is so important. I need to tell everybody in every single video why this resistance matters. You see, above here, we do not really have a whole lot of strong resistances. That's why I want to say the moment that in XRP, we manage to go above here, do a pullback and a continuation of the move up, meaning when we get a successful break of the resistance area, we are going to, at that point, continue our uptrend, and in it, most likely we are going to set an all-time high and take the highest high all the way up here, about $3.50. But you know what? I believe we are probably going to go quite a bit higher than that. And if this is indeed a triangle structure, okay, that suggests the next move is probably going to get extended big time. So right now, all eyes should be on the current price action and see what the shape of it is going to look like. I do not care about the move up itself. That doesn't really matter because it is kind of predictable. What really matters is the shape of it. If we get a very strong impulse without a whole lot of overlapping of the waves, great. If we get a corrective movement, maybe something like this, a very slow and choppy, that's not going to be a good sign. And at that point, I promise you, we are going to make new videos and talk about what is happening in XRP. And finally, this week is kind of going to be big for us because we are having a lot of news coming in. And today specifically, we are having ISM manufacturing PMI numbers, and the market expects the numbers to come in around 49.5, which is already bad because ISM numbers being under 50 is considered a very, very bad sign for the economy. And what you do not want to see is this number ending up being worse than expected. If we see that, I think we can easily consider another move down in Dow Jones, which is probably going to take the whole crypto market down with it. Now, in Wednesday, we are having non-farm employment change, not really that important. And in Thursday, we are having ISM services PMI. This is important. And the most important piece of news of them all for this week is going to be on Friday, because we're going to have non-farm payrolls and also unemployment rate, which is incredibly important. If this number comes out hot, I think you may see a sell-off event happening in a stock market. And by the way, we are having, after all the news, Jerome Powell's speech, and you need to pay attention to specifically his stance on the job market. Because if the Fed is not going to react fast enough, I promise you, you are going to see unemployment in the United States rising rapidly, which will be ultimately a very, very bad sign, indicating that we may end up having a traditional recession. So this week is very, very important. And I just do not believe that we need to be trading anything, especially cryptos. And for XRP, it is also important, but for different reasons. Pay attention again to the shape of the move up that we are probably going to get. And that will give you a lot of information on what is going to happen next in XRP. And I hope I explained everything well and you understood what is going on in Ripple's chart. Anyway, if you found any value in my content, I would really appreciate if you like this video and consider subscribing to my channel and follow me on Twitter. And if you want more, maybe you want a complete analysis for your own specific crypto, or maybe you want to learn some decent TA in order to be able to make good money in the markets, you can become a member and ask me anything you want. And until the next update, I hope you have a wonderful time. Goodbye.